Well, good morning, this is Carlos. Today has been a very, very strange day for me. I woke up super early, like at 5 o'clock I was awake. Had the laptop open, everything. Planning a busy day today. Well, if anything's going to happen in the summer, now is the weekend. Hello! There must be 30 or 40 events going on somewhere in town on a weekend like this. I just heard Jim's podcast. He was out walking today as well. As I say, I had an activity planned for today. It was cycling down to the gorge to watch the open water swimming and antics that go on in midsummer swim fests. And it would have been probably quite interesting audio. I also have my good camera with me, so there might have been some interesting aqua photography splashes and
5 minutes, distance 0.42 kilometers, average pace 11 minutes 48 seconds per kilometer.
Yeah, I'm going to turn her down. Hang on a second. Let me just reach in my shirt. Turn her down a little bit. Just taking a picture of the palm of my hand. My phone is definitely not enjoying this summer very much. Luckily, I'm using my Sony for my voice recording, so that's not a problem. Sometimes analog stuff is far more reliable. I know it's a digital recording, but the workings of the device is analog. You push a button, you don't touch a screen. Anyway, I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I'm turning down the runkeeper lady so that she doesn't deafen us. I got rid of the French girl, she was getting on my nerves. Besides, it was one of those mental things that you do. You decide, when I start running, she's out the door. But today, I have been stymied from two things that were, three actually, interlinked. One was to go to the Gorge Swim Fest on my bike. The other was to record the podcast and make a video of something scenic with the splashing of the waters and the bathing bells, but that is not to be. So what is the other thing that went wrong? My bike has a flat tire and I don't have a pump, so I'll have to wait for another day to use my bike, which kind of messes up my idea of getting groceries on the way back. So I shall just have to forage for food today. I'm in the shade behind the Majestic Park baseball diamond. Today's walk is going to be quite sprightly. I'm going to try and stay around the 12 minutes per kilometer mark, which is how I used to walk before my surgery. As I was saying, I listened to Jim's podcast and it saved me. Jim had saved me the trouble of going down to the swim fest, because his show this week was 55 minutes long, and I said I will leave after I hear Jim to the end. So I was listening. That's when I got the shout out.
11 minutes 31 seconds, distance 1.01 kilometers, average pace 11 minutes 27 seconds per kilometer.
Yeah, I think I know what I have to do. I have to adjust the volume on the app itself, not the playback volume of the phone, because that is independent of the volume control. I believe even if you shut it down to almost nothing, she will speak as loud as you have set her to speak. So I have to get out of this taking photographs of my own hand business and try and get it that she speaks a little quieter. So the trouble with all these little setbacks is that I'm not being able to maintain a thread. I'm going to have to use that picture, whatever it is. Now, settings is over here. The other thing I didn't do today was bring my reading glasses, which means that I can't actually see what I'm doing here. I guess we'll just have to forget the volume settings, and I apologize in advance. I'll turn her down to next to nothing to see if it makes a difference. It is an analog voice. It's not, it's a artificial voice. So I don't think it actually goes through the volume controls of the phone, like as if you were listening to an MP3, that kind of thing. You have control over the playback volume. I would have to go to the settings on my app. I just have to remember when she's speaking to just stop and think of the last thing that I was talking about, which was Jim saving me by delaying my departure. The Swimfest was cancelled at the last minute because of a spillage in the waterway. I was only there a couple of days ago. In fact, yesterday I think I was there cycling. Yep, I think it was Friday it was when I went to see Ken. That's right. That's a nice podcast if you want to listen to something completely insane. Go to that one. Yep, Jim saved me by keeping me in, so I got a notification that the Swimfest had been cancelled. Hello. I thought I knew her, but obviously not. She smiled, but it wasn't the smile of, "Hello, Carlos. What are you doing?" Okay, so Jim saved me for that.
15 minutes, distance 1.31 kilometers, average pace 11 minutes 24 seconds per kilometer.
The business about my bicycle is a bit of a bummer. It means I have to either buy a new tube or patch the one that I have, and then I have to wheel the bike to the rec center where there's a public pump. So that's probably going to be what I do on Monday. No, that is not what I'm going to do on Monday. I'm going to run with Derek. That's right. So last time I was on the Douglas Creek Trail, the Saanich Park employees were busy working here. They're draining the creek and repairing the wall of the Douglas Creek watershed so that the water doesn't rush out quite as violently as it would if they hadn't put these artificial, well, not artificial boulders, they're real boulders, but these placed barriers to stop the flow of water when there is a large downpour of rain. because they're determined to try and get salmon back in Douglas Creek. A noble project. I will take this recording here up to Ash. Today being Sunday, the workmen are all at home or on the golf course or camping with their families. That's very popular here. Everybody goes camping at least one weekend of the year. Hi. Since I don't have a car, camping is not that exciting for me because I have to go with somebody. I guess I could take my bicycle, I could pack a tent and all the gear I might need for a few days in my bike, but that would involve fixing my puncture, which I fully intend to do, obviously. I can't be without a vehicle. Yep, running with Derek. I'm trying not to run 2 days in a row. Hello. Last time I ran was on Saturday morning, that's right. Yesterday morning I ran around Lambert Park and had a wonderful time. I said to Norma with some trepidation, here I go, once around Lambert. And I said I'll be back in 22 minutes, because that's how long it took me the first time I did it. Well, I got back in 17:55, which is quite exciting, but that is not the plan. I don't really want to speed up too much. Today's walk is going to be shorter than last time I did it. I think last time I did this walk was averaging around 15 minutes per kilometer. That's factoring in chat breaks and photo opportunities. But as I approach Ash, this is where the recording might get noisy, and I want to save some air time for the Lochside Trail and when I'm on the bridge with my friend Roy. So rather than pause the episode, the recording each time, I'm cutting it off. So it's much easier for me to retrieve all the bits. They're in chronological order, so it also gives me the opportunity of patching in a bit of in-between music.
Time 55 minutes. Distance 4.78 kilometers. Average pace 11 minutes 29 seconds per kilometer.
So I'm holding my pace well today, that's good. Just going to take another photograph of Lochside School with Mount Douglas in the background. Normally I'm taking a picture of Lambert Park School with Mount Douglas in the background. I am exactly that distance on this side of Mount Doug now, heading for home along the Lochside Trail. You will hear a lot of cyclists and quite a few runners. I hope to meet somebody I know today. Didn't know her, but she looked as if she was suffering a little bit there. Oh my goodness, it's warm today. I wanted to get to the gorge at noon because that was supposed to be the warmest time for swimming, and they were claiming the water temperature was 25 degrees Celsius, which is warmer than I have my bath. Anyway, I don't believe that. Either way, it was cancelled.
Yeah, I got that.
It was cancelled because of the spill. I'm not sure whether it was petrochemical or farm slurry, who knows. I'm on the Lochside Trail, just going past the hippie house that no longer has any hippies in it. They have moved on and left all their artwork in the bushes, literally. And there's a runner. Looks as if he's quite able to run a long distance. He's got thin legs, quite a big chest for a runner. He's probably a triathlete. They have to swim, so they have to have a large rib cage. The bigger the lungs, the better they float. Today's walk was going to take us right over the...
57 minutes, 38 seconds. Distance, 5.01 kilometers. Average pace, 11 minutes, 31 seconds per kilometer.
So I'm still holding my pace, 11:31. That's good. That was the 5-kilometer mark. So 5:12:60. I think we're up to 65 minutes or 55 minutes. That's right, because I'm under 12 minutes per kilometer. That's good. I can calculate that in my head. It's so funny. Jim was reminding me today of how the longer we are into our runs, the worse we are at doing mental arithmetic. This is so true. But sometimes it's a good way of getting through those boring kilometers in the middle of a long outing. Hi. Hi. Grandpa, grandson. Hello. Daughter. Pretty soon I'm going to be on gravel and you'll hear the cyclists' tires a little more than on the asphalt. But you won't hear very much from my feet today. I'm wearing my trail shoes. And these are the ones that I broke my Achilles tendon in. I was wearing them when I crashed. I'm convinced it was absolutely nothing to do with my fall. Unless it suddenly occurred to me, it could have been one of those stutter steps that you take when you're recovering from tripping, like a windmill type maneuver with your arms. I might have come down very heavily on that toe. Maybe not the toe, because it's the Achilles. It would have been, I might have come down rather heavy on the ball of my foot and twanged it out of...
Time, 1 hour. Distance, 5.22 kilometers. Average pace, 11 minutes, 30 seconds per kilometer.
Yeah. Just the same as before. So I'm getting 5-minute reminders and kilometer reminders. So that was the hour. When I'm running, I don't really bother too much with the 5-minute reminders, because I'm getting a kilometer reminder every 7 minutes, thereabouts nowadays, with my short runs that I'm doing. But as I say, the most important thing for me to now is to recover my cardio fitness. I'm sure my foot is in no worse shape than it was before I had my incident. But my cardio is definitely much worse.
Morning.
So today's outing is basically to be out for 2 hours of walking, strenuous walking on the flat, to try and iron out any kinks in my gait and to get my nerves in my ankles well and truly familiar with this kind of activity this morning.
Time, 1 hour, 8 minutes, 50 seconds. Distance, 6 kilometers. Average pace, 11 minutes, 28 seconds per kilometer.
Coming up on the Blenkinsop Trestle pretty soon. I wanted to talk a little bit about electric cars. My wife has just bought herself an electric car. It's a hybrid, like the old Prius, but much more modern technology, built, I believe, in the United States. It's a Chevy Volt, and it has, I was mistaken in thinking it had a small lawnmower type engine to drive the generator for the power for the wheels, but in fact it has a full-blown 1.5 liter, I think it might be a V4, to tell you the truth. I think it is a V4.
Time 1 hour 10 minutes. Distance 6.1 kilometers. Average pace 11 minutes 28 seconds per kilometer.
Her car has so many of these new bells and whistles. It has a central display unit with little arrows. It looked exactly like the flux capacitor from Back to the Future, and you could see the flux of the current, whether it was going into the battery or away from the battery into the wheels. It's incredible. You can use a 1 foot driving, as they say. When you take your foot off the accelerator, it activates a regenerating process that not only does it slow you down quite progressively, but it also charges your battery. So every time you're slowing down or braking, you can charge a little more into your battery. It has this large engine so that the performance-hungry North American market can accept it, because they don't call it an auxiliary engine. They call the gas-driven part of the vehicle the range extender, which is an interesting concept. You can drive it totally electric in town, as long as you remember to plug it in each night. My wife said she had 60 kilometers left in it, but she plugged it in, and within a couple of hours it was already up to about 80 kilometers or more. That's the guy I saw going the other way. He's coming back now. So this range extender with the gasoline engine, you can drive it. There will be no change in performance. You will still be able to pull away from the lights as you were with the electric, but you won't be draining a dead battery if you don't have a charge, or if you're in the middle of the Gobi Desert. You're probably better off running on gas, because the chances of finding a plug-in are slim to none in the Gobi or somewhere remote like that. So it's a range extender, which is kind of reassuring, but it also has a lot of technology, a lot of electronics. It has the OnStar, which I'm sure a lot of you have already experienced, with all that goes with it. The mapping and the emergency recall and all that sort of business. Plus, the car acts as a hotspot for anybody in the car. So if we went for a road trip, I could access the internet while we're driving. I think the idea of that is that if you get enough keen passengers in the car who are using their iPhones or their laptops while you're driving, you'll have a lot more happy customers. The deal with the OnStar is that it's 3 months free, and then you have to cancel. I think the onus is to cancel, otherwise they automatically start billing you. But the dealer was pretty straight with us. He said, just try it out, see if you think it's worth it. 3 months of internet access in the car might be a game changer. But he said just don't buy into any of the options where they ask you for a credit card number, because once they have that, then they know how to bill you. So take the 3 months and then say no thanks. That is the plan. This car is so incredibly quiet. The only time I know when she's home is when I hear the door slam. Other than that, Endor and I have no idea that she's just arrived. I have another topic of conversation. This is a little more painful. Not for me, but for my younger son, Zaran. He went to a gaming convention. He plays a role-playing...
1 hour, 15 minutes, distance, 6.54 kilometers, average pace, 11 minutes, 28 seconds per kilometer.
He plays this role-playing game called Magic. And he's getting pretty good at it. He's thinking of turning professional. But the trouble was that he went to a tournament in Toronto, and using his phone to navigate from his Airbnb to the convention hall took him across a playing field with a fence. He didn't realize he had hit a barrier until he got to it, probably 2 or 3 playing fields across from where he started. So he chose unwisely to climb up a bleachers and jump over the fence, landing heavily on his left foot. Now, he was unable to walk for the first day and a half. The tournament was Saturday, I believe, and he arrived on Thursday, and he was just casing the place to see how easy it was to walk there. So now he is in worse shape than I am. He went out for his first walk today because we were encouraging him to manipulate his ankle by walking, because he's such a homebody. He would just stay on his bed and not exercise his foot at all. My boys are very cerebral. They have not gained any of my physicality, unfortunately. In my mind, unfortunately for them. But they can yet develop that pleasure in later life, as I did. I don't think I saw the light in terms of exercise until I was about 45. Tell you the truth, I started running very late in life. Alright, so I'm coming up to the Blenkinsop trestle. I'm going to stop arbitrarily the recording now, just to restart it as I hit the wooden planks of the trestle. And that way I'll be able to compartmentalize the files. Well, not quite on the bridge yet, but I'm ready with my camera out. I was going to run on the bridge today just for the excitement, but I decided not to. That is something I can look forward to with Derek tomorrow. As you can hear, I just fired up my camera. If it's working. I'm going to have to stay on this side of the bridge for the moment, because the cyclist would rather I was over here than over there where she is. That gives me a chance to show you the view this way, out of the sun. This way I won't be glaring sunlight into the camera. I'm also running 2 audios now, incidentally. There will be the camera audio, and there's going to be the Sony audio. Hello. So depending on how it turns out, I probably won't have to use...
Time 1 hour 20 minutes. Distance 6.97 kilometers. Average pace 11 minutes 28 seconds per kilometer.
I won't have to use the audio from the Sony because this audio should be clear enough. There's not that much wind today. There's Roy.
Time 1 hour 20 minutes 25 seconds. Distance 7.01 kilometers. Average pace 11 minutes 29 seconds per kilometer.
Pretty consistent, wouldn't you say? Yeah, I could run this, but I don't think I need to. I'm working quite well on my stamina now. I don't need to get super hot. Real time is now 12:19. The height of the heat is from now until 3. But you can hear now the breeze is blowing a little bit, which is great because it means that I can cool off a little bit. I also get a drink break coming up pretty soon. So today, instead of getting a video from Selkirk Trestle, which you got from me on Friday when I went to see Ken, you're going to get a video of Blenkinsop Trestle, which you probably got from me previous Wednesday. I'm not sure. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, see what I mean about being outnumbered by cyclists? So, I've taken you from one end of this trestle right to the other end in video format. Plus, I will have the full extended version, which will run for 36 minutes. No more and no less. I think that was 8. So I'm now walking on Mount Douglas Crossroad. I changed my mind. I'm going to turn off at the top of this street. Instead of going onto Glendenning, I'm going to turn right and go towards Mount Douglas Food Market, which is about the same distance, but slightly out of my way. Not much, but it means that I don't have to come out later because I don't have my bike. I have to try and incorporate more than one activity per outing. Today I'm doing 4. I'm recording a podcast, I'm taking photographs, I'm making a video, I'm getting my exercise. I think it's 5. And I'm also picking up some food. So that's a busy day for me. But it'll all be done in about 2 hours, door to door. 36 minutes of audio, 4.5 minutes of video, 3 or 4 pictures of Mount Doug from various positions as I walk around it. And there might even be an additional bit of video. I'm not yet. I might be going through. Yeah, I will be going through Bow Park. I'm coming out of the Felton Trail, heading towards Mount Douglas Food Market, where I'm going to buy oats and meat, vegetables, and maybe some more dairy. Who knows? So this is the running jackal saying bye-bye to you from Victoria. Hello. Bye-bye. And I have to remember to shut down my audio recording also. So I've said bye-bye to my movie friends. I hear a bicycle. Yeah, not much room for us both, so I just pulled over to the side.
Time 1 hour 55 minutes. Distance 10.12 kilometers. Average pace 11 minutes 21 seconds per kilometer.
Well, that's about exactly twice the minutes per kilometer that I used to run. I used to do between 6 and 7 minute kilometers running, and now I'm doing between 11 and 12 minutes per kilometer walking. So this is the walking jackal saying bye-bye to all my running friends all over the world, all over the known world. I don't have too many listeners in Atlantis. But there you go. Apparently we know less about the bottom of the oceans than we do about the surface of the moon. So I'll leave you till Wednesday.